Hello, hello, hello. This is a message for the young moms, okay? If you are, raising your kids and they're young, um, you're going to want to go ahead on and plan on what you're going to do. Um, I got another message. Okay. You're going to want to go ahead on and plan what you're going to do once your kids go off to college and different things like that, right? So, I wanted to tell you my experience and what it is that I did, okay? So, um, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out my kids' life, okay? I wanted to do certain things so that they would have opportunities, right? So I tried this and I tried that. I tried working at daycare centers. I worked in nonprofit. I worked for the church. I worked in um, adult literacy. I worked in. There were some opportunities that I passed up because, like I said, some people just want to put you in their own little vision for what they have for your life. And it's to benefit them, it's not to benefit you. So, this is an experience that I had. It was a congressman. Okay. This was after I'd been working for the Catholic Church, but I was also looking at working at Enron. And, I was always with my feelers out looking for other stuff, right? So, what I did was, keeping my eye out for different opportunities. That's what I was doing. Meanwhile, my kids were still young. And it was during this time that I met Matthew Knowles. And I was on my way into the building to check out another job, like a telemarketing job or something like that. And he was moving into new offices. So he had all of these boxes and stuff. He was by himself, bless his heart. And held the door for him. And he said, "What? A beautiful woman holding the door for me?" And I was just like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm here for, a job interview and stuff like that." And you have to remember, during this time, um, my kids were still relatively young. And I was just on the grind, going to work every day, picking them up, going to parent teacher conferences. You know the drill. That's what I was doing. And so I met him that day. Then uh, I went to the telemarketing interview and stuff like that. It was like on my lunch break. And then I headed back to downtown to my job. And another person that I ran into was, like I said, this congressman. And I applied at his office to be a secretary, an administrative assistant, because that's what I did. And instead, the girls from his office called me to sit in the hospital room with his mom. His mom was in the hospital, and he wanted me to sit in the hospital with his mom. Because I don't have nothing else that I'm able to do. I met him while I was working for the Catholic Church. That's how I met this congressman. And that's what he thought would be a good use of my time, is sitting in the hospital room with his mama. Something that I wouldn't even do for my own mama. You know why? Because I went to dental assistant school. I didn't go to medical school. I'm not a nurse, right? Whatever it is that the people are doing or the nurses are doing and not doing, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. Number two, some people tried to say, oh, well, it's because he trusts you. Listen, that's your mama. Where is your wife? That's something that your wife needs to be doing. Okay? Your sister, or even you yourself. He has his own assistants in his office. It was just weird. It was just weird. I don't know why this may anyway, let me get to the nitty-gritty, the whole reason you see the title. Listen. What I'm trying to say is I had several experiences that led up to my going to accept a job for working internationally. I had spent years of raising my kids, doing the best that I can, even with their resistance. I'm going to say that again, with their resistance. My kids did not do what it is that I was trying to teach them. They were more impressed with these streets. And I couldn't understand it for the life of me. Well, I was definitely told that something that I did not know. And I believe I can find a resource for you guys. I'm really wanting to do this to help single mothers to be able to identify their situation, okay? Because a lot of them just don't understand where they are or cannot comprehend where they stand, right? Look at this. A volcano naturalist. Lord have mercy. There is so much in this world. I'm just trying to give you a window into one thing. I want to give you up-to-date information because, of course, the information that I have, my experience is old information now. But I'm going to give it to you based on my company that I work for. Okay. And I want to give you what my experience was like back in the day. Okay. I hear conversations. Okay, so anyway, these are reviews on Indeed for SEII. That was the company that I work for, or Halliburton International branch. Okay, so this is for all job types, all locations, and any language. Okay. They get work-life balance 3.7 stars, pay and benefits 4.2 stars, job security and advancement 3.8 stars, management 3.7 stars, culture 4.1 stars. Okay, listen. Um, this one says, great people, good chance to help military in the field. Okay, and this is from Bagra. Former employee, air ground, MCT logistic coordinator. Okay. Pros are military movement assistance, good pay. The cons are shortage of Department of Defense contracts, base closures. Okay. So it says, I love working for and with the military while deployed. The hours were long. We normally do 15-hour days. Okay. Camps were well organized. I agree with that. Pay was good. Actually, pay was great. And the troops were great. That's true. I agree. They were fabulous. I was telling someone not an hour ago about how the military guys really took me under their wings. And, like I said, I was everybody's mom and grandma and cousin, and it was fabulous. They really looked out for me. So I appreciated that. This one gives it 3.0 stars. Hard work in foreign country, often with non-English speaking people. Uh, that was not my experience. Everybody were multilingual, including myself. Sí habla español and parlez-vous en français? Yeah. Oui, oui, oui. Sí, sí, sí. It says better than average pay with all meals and lodging supplied. The thing that they left out is also laundry. Well, I'm thinking about that, right? I would get my laundry and I would put it in a bag, a laundry bag, take it over to the facility where they would check in my laundry and give me a little ticket, and I would go on to work. And normally I would get a text message when my laundry was done, and I just go over with my little ticket, hand it to them, and then they would give it to me. The reason why is because we were working in a war zone. We worked 15 hours a day, so we really didn't have time to do laundry after working 15 hours a day, okay? And this was every single day. So every day of the week, we worked 15 hours a day for 90 days on and 30 days off. So doing laundry and stuff like that was not what was happening, okay? And I'm going to tell you something else. Um, I took a shower every single day, wash my hair every single day. Number one is because we're in a sandy desert environment, so the sand just gets everywhere. Um, so I showered every day, shampooed and conditioned my hair every single day, drank boatloads of water every day because dehydration was a big issue. Like when people talk about the Iraqis crud, it's because they were not drinking enough water. Drink, 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 drink water, um, because the environment would take moisture out of your body and you never even sweat. You don't even know that you're dehydrated. So you just constantly had to drink all the time. And so uh, your cells get very clean. It was great. Very good. Okay, so they didn't talk about the laundry. So, but meals, you had to go to DFAC. They were not bringing it to your house, but you have to go to DFAC and you get your food and then you go back to work and lunch and all of that. So this is better than average pay with all meals and lodging supply. Also, your vehicle. I drove a Cadillac Escalade, honey, brand new, fully loaded. And when it was time for maintenance, a guy would come around and get my keys and go and take the truck for oil changes, tune-ups, all those type of things. Check tire pressure, all of that. So this person is a former employee. They were a carpenter, and they were in Erbil, Erbil, and work is 7 days a week and a minimum of 12 hours a day. And I was an administrative specialist, and I did 15. So, and that's because every morning at 5 a.m. Baghdad time, we had a conference call with the Department of Defense for status of incidents. So, and he says communication with family in USA is sometimes difficult. For me, it was never difficult because of my cell phone provider was just great. So it was no problem. Okay. This one says 4.0 work experience that prepares you for anything. MWR department lead, current employee, Salah ad-Din, Iraq. Okay. In less than a year's time, my duties and responsibilities shifted from entry level to that of a department supervisor while working a contract in the Middle East. I was able to take a group of individuals who hardly spoke English and American citizens and created a successful working team that served the U.S. Department of Defense and civilian contractors. The hardest part of this job for me, besides being away from my family, occurred during moments where we were understaffed and had to become creative with scheduling to ensure that our business ran as the contract required. Pros: an ethically rewarding work experience. Cons: many employees get shifted into areas of higher responsibility without salary or job title advancement. Work in combat zone. Okay, so this was in Salah ad-Din, Iraq. Okay, so I worked at the bases. That's where I work. Some people did work out in the actual cities in Iraq, but I didn't. I always stayed on base. Okay. This is a superintendent in Iraq. He gives a 2.0, a good place to earn a lot in a short term. The money is good, away from home for months at a time. Some good people to work with, a lot of bad people to work for. And their pros and cons were grayed out. Very busy, 3.0. Material control specialist, former employee, Iraq. Okay, long hours, very busy. So that gives you an idea. It depends on the person, I think. It depends on the job. This one gives it 5.0 stars, overseas contract work, great compensation. This is a quality manager, quality control in Iraq. Okay, so I think in watching this video, doing your research, you know what to expect. A lot of people are very dissatisfied when they receive a curveball. You know what I'm saying? Something happens where um, something happens that they did not anticipate. Okay, and it throws them for a loop, and then they feel uneasy, they feel anxiety about the job, right? So that's going to be a lot of the reason for their responses to their reviews. What was it like? You know what I'm saying? So if you do your research, you know what to expect. And so when it happens just in the way that you expect it, then you have confidence. You're like, okay, this is what I was expected. Okay, I'm prepared. I'm prepared for this. I'm ready for this, right? So another thing that you need to do, which is what I did, is I read my whole packet of information. I had like 400 pages of a checklist on top, and then all of this instructions and what I'm going to need to do. And then we had conference calls, and I attended every single conference call. I dialed in to know exactly what I needed to do, right? Some people don't do that, but I absolutely did. I absolutely did. Okay. So you, like I said, you're going to want to do your research. You're going to want to do all of your research, read everything. When they have a contact person on there, which they do, they will have emails and phone numbers. If you have any questions, give us a call. And so that's what you're going to want to do. But if you're a person like me, I'm just going to roll with it, baby. I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to do the best that I can do. Um, and that's what I did. And I don't know what type of experience you're having as a mom, but if you are in a situation, I'm just going to say it like this. If you are born on the cusp of any cusp, you're going to want to look at opportunities for yourself, okay? Because you may not be able to depend on your kids. right? Because parents who are born on the cusp, they tend to do too much for their kids, which means that the kids are not going to reciprocate that. They're not going to reciprocate that. And you can look at a lot of different people. And sometimes if you have daughters, you will fare better than if you have nothing but sons. If you are born on a cusp and you have only sons, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So you're going to want to look for opportunities on your back 40 that are going to provide a community for you, that's going to be inspiration for you, where you will have some type of a mission, even if you are doing regular work as a driver or something, or a letter carrier, but you have some volunteer work that is creative and something that you would like. I'm automatically thinking of being a person that does tour guides for your museum, and you're telling people about the different works of art and the upcoming exhibits, something like that, that people that are born on the cusp really love to do. And as a parent, you know, it gives you an opportunity to give information to people who actually really want the information. Which you will probably have a problem with your kids. They don't want information. They don't want to be protected by you. They're want to be independent or whatever. Children that have parents who are born on the cusp, those parents tend to do too much. And as a result, the kid doesn't want them to. It's a hot ball of boo boo. That's what it is. But it's just life. It's a regular part of life. There's no reason to get upset. Just you need to identify that, and you need to do what is going to make you happy. A lot of times, children who come from parents on the cusp think that their parents want them to be dependent on them. It's not true. The parent is giving you all of this information so that you can have your own full life, and they would want you to just be a part of the regular situation by um, by sharing your life with them. And these kids won't do that. They won't do it. So it's fine. It's fine. They want it to be this drama and this, I don't know why it is, but children who come through parents who are born on the cusp, and I mean the parent born on the cusp, not the child, they have this idea of what their parent is, and it's usually wrong. It's usually wrong. And no matter how much the parent tries to tell them, look, it's not like that. They don't believe them. They don't believe them for some reason. They just have this, I don't know. It's just one of the life journeys. And like I said, it's great for you as a parent because, you know, you can spend some time. For me, I gave it some years. I gave them years to get acclimated to, okay, this is what's going to be happening. I'm going to be doing X, Y, and Z in my life. And they're like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. You don't have no other life besides us. And this is all you want to do. And this is all you are. And it's so not true. It's so not true. But, um, like I said, parents who are born on the cusp, they do too much. And the kid just thinks, I am the nucleus of the cell. My parent has no life without me. Besides me, there's only me. And I can do whatever I want, and I can always anticipate the parent being there. Never thinking that your parent is going to get old and they're going to pass away, and you've got to be able to live your life. That's one of the reasons why parents on the cusp go far beyond. They go far beyond the call of duty because they're trying to prepare their children to live in a world where they won't be there. Okay? And the child takes it as, my parent is doing all of this because they want me to be dependent on them. It's some kind of a disconnect. It's some kind of a disconnect. I don't know why it is. Um, but I can say, and if there are children who are watching this, adult children who are watching this, look at your parents' birth date. If they were born on the cusp, and you're bringing them a whole bunch of drama and resisting them and all that kind of stuff, I'm telling you, you need to get your ducks in the row. Because even if your parent never does any of the things that I did, like taking a job overseas to work, they are still going to close their eyes. And you are going to be in this world where you can't call on them. You can't email them. You can't go to their TikTok. There's nothing. So you're ignoring them or doing things that you know would hurt their feelings or neglecting them and all of that, you're taking them for granted, and you need to be more honorable and respectful to your parent. The reason why they went above and beyond the call of duty is because they love you. They love you and they want to make sure that you are fully prepared for this world, to live in this life beyond their presence, because they're going to move on. You are not the nucleus of their cell. You are not their Lord and Savior. You are not their idol and their God. They are not trying to live vicariously through you. Okay? That's not what's happening. And if you continue to think this way, it's going to be very hurtful to you when you realize that all the things that you thought about your parent were wrong. And now they're gone. And you can't rectify it. You cannot, even if you have a parent who does not go above and beyond the call of duty. A lot of kids who have parents who were on drugs and in jail and stuff like that, domestic violators, and beat them up and kick them out of the house and all these things, those parents are not neglected. It's the parents who are the ones who go above and beyond the call of duty that kids turn their backs on. I don't know why it is that way, but I'm making this video for those parents. You have an opportunity, because you do not have to worry about your kids calling you or seeing them, and don't be embarrassed by that. They are making their own choices. So you have to look at yourself and say, you know what do I like to do? I like to write. I like to paint. I like performance art. I need a lot of money. I'm going to tell you. Working as an expat will give you the money that you need on your back 40, where you will be able to be self-sufficient. By visiting other places, it's going to really help your brain, which will stave off all of these maladies that a lot of other older people get because they live very stagnant lives, right? So going overseas, the air is different, the water is different, the people are different. You're seeing things that you've never seen before. You are in places that you've never been before, and this is very healthy for you. This is going to allow you to have a quality of life that simply moving to the old people's home and having a CRN, I think that's what they call them. I don't know what they call them, but you know, this personal caretaker person that change the diapers and all this, and being in the little scooter and going to the community center. This is a much better life for you. And then, like I say, you're going to be working around young people who actually will appreciate you, which to me is just priceless. It is priceless. They listen to you. They're protective of you. They check on you. They are not in any way, they will not in any way be like your kids, where you just have to unscrew the top of their head and try to pour knowledge into them. No, they, even when they're having troubles or they want to understand something, or they just read a really good book or saw a movie or whatever, they just want to talk to you. They appreciate you. They want your insight. They want your opinion. They respect your viewpoint. Okay? When you're at DFAC and stuff, they come over to you. When are you having dinner? Let me know. Call me when you're going to dinner so we can go to dinner together. Call me when you wake up so we can go to breakfast together. Now, I didn't do that very much because, like I said, my day started at 5 a.m. with a 5 a.m. conference call. So I was up at 3:30 getting ready. Um, for the meeting and getting over to, that meeting room and stuff like that. And so I didn't see very many young people at breakfast, but as my work day would go on, they would come by my office, they would email me, or they would call me on my cell phone. And so we would go to lunch together or dinner, or then, we would have concerts. How did we have energy to go to concerts, child? I don't know. The water, the air is different, and you're not under stress. There's no depression. There's no oppression. Everybody's working together to accomplish the mission. Just like I read to you one of the reviews where he said priorities change and stuff. And this is when um, different things change, where you have to kind of shuffle people around, because like I said, we work for 90 days, then we're off for 30 days. That is non-negotiable. It's going to happen. So that means you may be missing 2, 3, or 4 people off the team for 30 days because they're at R&R. And with the people that you do have left, you have to still, get the work done. So that's what he was talking about with that. So, and believe you me, when I went on R&R, I'd be asleep for 2 weeks, man. I'd be asleep for 2 weeks. And a lot of times I would wake up and not know where I was, you know, because I'll be so tired, so tired. But it was because my body was being detoxed, because the food was so good and so pure. They didn't feed us preservatives and things like that over there. The water was so good, and I was drinking so much water. All of the toxins and all of my cells and everything was being removed from my body, which meant that I got what? Really good sleep. I got really, really good sleep. All the food was fresh, the water was pure. Oh my God. It was just, even my dreams were different over there in Baghdad. Okay, I'm gonna have to go, y'all. I just got the thing to say that the network is back up. Hold on, let's see. Okay, so yeah. Um, to all the young moms, especially those born on the cusp, and other mothers who are trying to figure out what you're going to do on your back 40 when you're having a situation where everybody's gone off to college and everything, and you don't know what to do. This is an idea. Now, I do have another, a young person that I know of, a few, and they're all going on 30, and they still live at home with their parents. So, again, this is something that even a parent in that situation, if you can, if you've already retired from your other job, if you're military and you took the early retirement after 30, you've been 15 years, you can do early retirement, or you did your 30 years and you can retire. You can then go and work overseas as an expat. You can work in Italy, you can work in South America, down in Brazil, Ireland, all over the world. Okay, so if you have grown kids that are living at home, because this is something I saw a Netflix movie where a lady did that, but she stayed in the United States. She didn't go overseas. But she had a daughter who had a child, her grandchild, and she had a son who were still living at home, and they were grown, and they were expecting her to babysit plus, work her own job and stuff. And what she did was she left. She left. And she had another son that was in prison. And when he left, he came to the town that she was in Montana, and she got on that bus and went on out to California, honey. She wanted to see the Pacific Ocean. And isn't that simple? And so she went on and did that. And when she did that, her daughter became a manager at a job, and the other son got himself together. It was just better for the whole family. And so it's something that you want to research on. Okay, if you have any questions for me, you can go ahead on and text me at the number. It'll be down in the description box. You can leave me a message on my community page. So let me know in your comments below what you think about it. It is an option. It is something that you need to think about. And like I said, I was on the phone for a long time with a mom whose kids are young, but she does have some older children that have basically kicked her to the curb. And there's a lot of people that I know that their first group of kids that they have in their 20s are now grown, and then they start over having more kids because of the empty nest syndrome. Well, here's another option that you can do. Instead of starting with the second wave of babies, this is something else that you can think about, especially if you love to travel, especially if you want to put on some more stamps in your passport. Is something for you to think about. There's a lot of information out there, people saying about Egypt and this and Ethiopia that. Well, why watch it on TikTok? Get a job there as an expat, and on your R&R, you don't have to go and book a trip overseas or whatever. You can just book a hotel or a Airbnb or get a room for 30 days and go and check it out yourself. Take all of the tours, go to the museums, go to the libraries, talk to the curators for yourself. And when your kids say, Mom, what are you doing today? Dad, what are you doing today? Oh, I took a tour of the catacombs in Egypt. I'll send you some pictures. And then when they say, well, Mom, I'll sing by, oh, well, send me an email. I gotta go. Talk to you later. Bye. That's it. They're grown. They're grown. And I'm sure that they will feel no way, and you won't feel no way. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm getting all of these notifications. This one, interesting. Okay, so anyway, I gotta go. If you have questions, let me know. Do me a favor, like this video, share this video, and what else? Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to do more information on being an expat and traveling, but this video is inspired by an actual conversation that I had today. So I hope that it was helpful for you. And like I said, the main thing is research, research, research. Don't let this be the only video that you check out based on this. Do your own research. Google it yourself. Look at all of the reviews. For the people that you can contact them. Talk to them. Ask them the questions, so that you know what to expect. I could do another video even with what's it like to actually be processed out of the country. That was a whole deal. Oh man, let me tell you. This video is already long enough, but My dad, oh, he was tripping. My mom, she thought I was lying. Why would she think that? Why would she just knew that I would, why would I lie about something like that? I Let me tell you something. From being a parent as well as being a child, I'm telling you, my situation was bananas. Bananas. My mom and dad were a piece of work. Um, now, my daddy, Jesse, had already passed away by this time. As a matter of fact, he had passed away back when my youngest son was still a baby. He was still in diapers, when Daddy Jesse passed away. So Tommy was there. Tommy just passed away after Joseph did, I think. 4 years after Joseph passed away, then that's when Tommy passed away. And my mom is still alive today. So when I went overseas, they were still alive. And I remember I asked him to bring me um, some food, right? And I needed for him to pick up the Jeep that he had let me drive when I was down in Houston because Tommy had, like, I think 7 vehicles. And so I asked him for one of his vehicles while I was in Houston. And because I had to be processed for 2 weeks in Houston to go work overseas. And so I was doing that, and so he just didn't believe me. So he would come over to the processing center, and he was like, "Well, how long are you going to be in town?" And I told him, another week or so. He said, "Well, I'll pick up the Jeep then, just in case you want to go somewhere." He just didn't know, honey. I wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't going nowhere. I was in Houston to be processed, to go overseas, and that's all I was interested in doing. I wasn't interested in going to the movies. I wasn't interested in doing anything. I spent all day being briefed by different people in the military and stuff like that. I'm going to do another video on it. I'm going to do another video on it because it was a whole situation for 2 weeks, and we would be there all day, and then we would have the nights to ourselves. But what I would do at night was more research and reading, and there was always stuff to do, always something to read. And then if I was going to be talking to anyone, I'm talking to the people who were also going overseas with me. I wasn't trying to visit nobody in Houston. Okay, I was not interested in that at all. I told my mom that I was going overseas, and that was it. I didn't have nothing else to say to that woman. About what? Then when I actually went, she was calling me more so on the phone when I was overseas than she ever did when I was stateside. And then she actually admitted to me that she thought that I was lying. And I went to the Kingdom Hall with her, and these sisters were like, "So, what Kingdom Hall do you go to?" Blah, 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 blah. I said, "I'm going overseas. I I'm going to Iraq." And they just was like, "So, and how long you been going to the congregation?" And blah blah. Psychos. Let me tell you, I grew up with psychos, and my parents could be psychos. They were very, because if they couldn't imagine it or understand, it just wasn't in their vision for my life. Their vision for my life was very small. That's what I can say. Whereas for me, I expected my kids to do way more than me. Why? Because they were boys. With boys, you don't have to worry about being on your cycle. You don't have to worry about all of these things that girls have to worry about. You don't have to worry about having menstrual cramps on the job, and where can you go pee, and where you can, take care of your tampon and stuff like that. So for me, I expected my sons to be like, boom, everywhere, I expected my sons to be going to college in New Zealand and, all of the things that I could never do because my parents never had any visions for my life or any of that stuff. And so when I did it on my own, they really didn't say anything, but in the back of their mind, my mom's calling me a liar. And my dad is verifying it. He's coming over to see if I'm lying about being processed or not. Am I really staying where I'm staying? Am I really doing what it is that I'm saying that I'm doing? He's there to check. And even when they received letters from me from Baghdad, I don't think that they thought it was legitimate. It just, you have to remember, my mom has never been on an airplane. When she visits my sister in Arizona, she takes the train. When she went to Niagara Falls, she went on the bus. She's never been on an airplane. My auntie has never been on an airplane. The other one, the youngest one, who's supposed to be so fly, she's never been on an airplane. My uncle has never been on an airplane. These are the people that I come from as a family. So when I'm saying to them, I'm going overseas. Now, my brother did. My brother served in the Marines and stuff like that. There was no question because he was doing it as a military person. But for me, I've never been in the military. But I've also never been in the prison. I never dated the dope man. I never, uh, you know, Jonathan's dad was a line locator for the gas company. He drove a Mazda. And even when I was engaged to Ron owned a pizzeria. And yeah, he drove a BMW and he would bring me out to my mom's house every Sunday. And my mom wouldn't even speak to me because of Jehovah's Witnesses. So, and she was really outdone because here he was, a business owner. He drove a BMW, had a split level in Katy, Texas, which ain't nothing. This is regular. She wouldn't even speak to me. And that's what, and so I'm saying to you, whatever it is that you have to go through, whatever your situation is, big whoop, okay? Stay off of drugs, stay out of the jail, be careful of the people that you surround yourself with. Do not build alliances with anybody who's doing anything that can restrict you in this life. And especially as a parent, do right by your kids, take care of them, go to all the parent teacher conferences, um, go to all the music recitals, do all of those things that you do. I put my kids in Little League. I would go and work all day and then be at the Little League park for them to do t-ball and baseball and soccer and basketball and music because Jonathan played the xylophone. Then he went on to the drums and then he was in jazz band playing piano. Then he was in the marching band and I was right there mending the flagettes flags and doing the gloves and doing the laundry for the band and all of those things. And, steadily bringing them to church and they were in the choir and they had their little robes and they would have little performances at other churches. And I did all of that. I did all of that stuff. Okay. I, I I supported all that they were into, you know? And so when they grew up and they were like, okay, beat it, beat it, Miss Coletha, I did. And don't feel no way about it. Don't feel no way about it. You know, you do all the things for your kids because that's what you're supposed to do. What God gives you the ability to be able to do that. And then when it's time for the next chapter in your life, do that. Do that. You know, um, I never saw Baghdad in my future, but when the opportunity came, I grabbed it. And I'm glad I did. And so, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say on this one. Let me know if you want to know the actual what it was like. Um, there was one drill that we had to do in getting into a hazmat suit and our, clearing our mask. And I might do a video on that, how to clear your mask, because they're gonna hit you in the face with mace afterwards. And if you cough, they know that you did not get that mask on correctly. Okay. And it is a team thing. If you cannot uh, be a part of a team and work together on a mission, and so that means that even when you're doing the drills in processing and you have on your hazmat suit, you only have so much time to get in there and duct tape the wrists and around your boots, your ankles. Um, and you see somebody else who missed a spot or whatever, help them. Help them. Once you have on your hazmat stuff and your partner is all taken care of and you have checked each other, you've made sure that they've cleared their mask properly, they have all of their stuff on, and you see somebody else on another team, help them. Help them. Because again, when you're overseas and a crisis happens, you're going to want to do everything that you can to make sure that everybody survives. Everybody within your area is your responsibility, and you are their responsibility too. So when you may miss something or whatever, and somebody sees where you're lacking, they jump right in there and they're going to help you too. And if you're not that kind of person, then going overseas is not for you. Okay? It's not for you. So, and that I can say. So anyway, let me know what you think about this video, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.